Okay. So again, welcome to this session. And I would like to invite my special invitees to unmute themselves, turn on their video and introduce themselves. Uh, Upal?
Uh, Hello. Uh, Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. My name is Upal. I am from ECE batch of 2025. So I'll just give a short intro of myself out here. So I have recently completed my internship at Qualcomm, and I've received a PPO from the same company. And apart from that, I've also had some startup experience before. So if a couple of people are aware of the startup Tweak Labs. So they were a startup from our college only, and I was part of their team. So that's just a basic intro from my end.
Thank you, Upal. Viyaash?
Uh, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So, hello everyone, I'm Viyaash and I'm currently doing my final year in B.Tech ECE. So, my experience is that I have worked in SCL, which is the semiconductor laboratory. I did an internship there that is situated in Mohali. After that, I did a training program in IIT Hyderabad related to semiconductor fabrication. And after that, further, I went to Purdue University as well. Semiconductor domain is a domain that interests me a lot. So I would elaborate on that further later.
Thank you, Viyaash. Krishna?
Hello everyone, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Hi, so I am in my final year of electronics and communication engineering. I did my internships at scientific analysis group at DRDO. Then I interned at World Quant LLC. Then I went to National University of Singapore. And last summer I did my internship with Qualcomm, from where I got my return offer to. So, semiconductor industry, it hit me by chance, not by planning. So I believe in this experiencing and exploration. And, I somehow enjoyed this field and I choose to be here for a while.
Great. Thank you. Aamir?
Oh, I think there's some issue with my camera. Let me check if I can join it like that. Yeah. So, okay. Hi everyone. I'm Aamir, and currently I've been working with ST Micro. Prior to that, I was with Synopsys, and before that, I was with Anutsa for almost 2.5 years. So, unlike many of you, my plan in B.Tech was also to pursue coding and go through like the competitive programming and this DSA and all, and go through that route and enter into a software industry. But throughout my journey, I was introduced to material like research projects, and I also did a BTP under Anuj sir, and that kind of motivated me to check key, okay, what's all thing that we can explore in EC. So from there onwards, I shifted my domain from a very CS, you can say, guided to an EC. So we can discuss these points later in the meeting.
So I would want to add that Aamir and Soumya is not here, Ravi, but they also took the option of converting their B.Tech to a dual degree M.Tech. Am I right, Aamir?
Yeah, right. So
Yeah. So if you have, I know a few of you have asked such questions also. So Aamir could also respond to those questions uh, very authoritatively. Hmm? Um, uh, Pritha?
Hello everyone, my name is Pritha and I'm currently in my third year B.Tech ECE. And during the summer, I did my internship at ISRO. So it's basically where I was interested in research and particularly communication signals. I wasn't sure about whether I was interested in this until and unless I did it. We'll talk more about it later, but I converted it into a IP and now I'm working with them on the project currently, and it's quite interesting. So, yeah.
Thank you. Tejasvi? Tejasvi, you're on mute.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tejasvi. I'm currently in third year. After my second year, I did an internship with ISRO along with my friends Pritha and Pragati. My internship was about designing and simulating a silicon detector, which is also uh, connected to semiconductor industry. It was very fun and I enjoyed a lot during my internship.
Okay, thank you. Aarya?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Aarya.
Hi, I'm Aarya. I'm a fourth year B.Tech student, and I just this summer finished my internship at University of British Columbia in Vancouver. And I work in the field of quantum materials and devices, which is quite frankly very cool and interesting, if I do say so myself. And I will elaborate on my field and what I did to go to University of British Columbia later on.
Thank you, Aarya. Zubaida?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
Hi, I'm Zbella, and I did my internship at Qualcomm, and I worked in the STA team there in physical design. And the semiconductor industry is not something I was very fond of, so I'm thinking of switching to communications, but we'll see how that goes.
Great. Thank you, Zubaida. And so that's a small group of your colleagues and seniors who are already working and making their career in ECE domain. And I can now switch to the presentation where just give me a second. There is some challenge there, but I have the list of questions with me, so I could just speak out those questions and then I could share my experience, and you could ask more questions based on what questions based on your whether that answers your concern or not, and then we can look at other colleagues of yours if they want to add to whatever we say. So one of the questions that many of you have posted on that Google form is about specialization. How do you identify which field you are interested in, and and how to really go about choosing a field or a specialization for yourself? Hmm? And what I can share is, at least from my journey, it was fairly accidental. I was pursuing my B.Tech from IIIT Delhi, and I was looking for an internship at the end of my second year. I wanted to get some internship. Uh, no, not second year, between third and fourth year. So I approached Professor Vishweshwaran. He had taught us a few courses, and I asked him about what we could do about internship. So he asked me whether I wanted an internship in Delhi or in Bangalore or Hyderabad or elsewhere. I said Delhi because I am from Delhi, and he gave me contacts of two managers from ST Microelectronics. I I reached out to them and had a brief discussion, and I got myself an internship position at ST in Noida. I did my internship at ST and I really liked the work there. The work culture was fabulous, and I that was when I was introduced to VLSI in the real sense of the word. I had done a few courses like physics of semiconductor devices or others, but when I joined ST as an intern, that was when I got the real feel of what semiconductor domain is or what VLSI is. It excited me enough to come back and take many more courses in the domain in my final year at IIT Delhi. And then I joined ST again. So for me, it was accidental. And as Zubeda shared, and as Krishna shared, as many others also shared, for many of us, it has been accidental. But when I joined IIIT Delhi, I was amazed to see one thing over here, which actually helps us to not make an accidental discovery of our interests. Uh, IIIT Delhi is probably the only institute, engineering college in the country, where we have what we call as the BTP poster presentations. In IIT, when we were expected to present our BTP work, it was a closed room. And in that closed room, we were kind of presenting to a very limited audience, mostly a jury of professors, a panel of professors. And students were either not allowed or they did not, uh, I think they were not even allowed to be there, except, the next set of students were to come to present and things like that. However, when I joined IIT Delhi, IIIT Delhi, I was so happy to see that each and every BTP presentation is actually done as a poster session and everyone in the institute is invited. It's a it's a day-long event and not a day long, but I think it's a 3 hour event. And anyone can come and discuss with the students about what they have done and find out about their work. And I felt that if I had this opportunity at IIT Delhi or when I was graduating or when I was pursuing my B.Tech, uh, I might be elsewhere. I don't know. I'm very, very happy in the VLSI domain. That is why I'm also teaching VLSI to you. Many of you must be in my class or must have already taken my course. But uh, it was still an accident for me. I just bumped into semiconductors, and there could have been something else, and I could not have known about it, and I still do not know about it. But at IIIT Delhi, you can utilize this opportunity to just walk around the corridors during those presentations. And it is not just one presentation that these people make, BTP students make. They make a presentation every semester. So there is an opportunity to find out how the work is progressing also if there is something that you are keen and interested in. Additionally, we also have this wonderful event called RISE. And in RISE, it is not just the B.Tech students who are presenting their work, but also master's students and PhD students. So practically every student who is doing even an iota of research in any domain, is doing any kind of a project in any domain, presents their work to the entire institute. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I see that many students do not benefit from it. Most of the people that I see moving around in the corridors are those who are themselves presenting their work and कोई उनसे कोई बात करने नहीं आ रहा है तो they just went out and they're checking out on their friends as to how their poster presentation is going. This is a pity because it's such a beautiful platform and you just don't, uh, you go to any other college and ask someone, how do I know if I'm interested in this area or not? They will say, oh, you'll have to do a course or two there, and then you will find out if you are interested in that area or not. And you see, doing a course means blocking yourself for at least 4 months. And what if you do not like the area? And also, you risk spoiling your GPA because you're doing a course that you're not really uh, excited about or interested in. So, I feel that we can utilize this opportunity, this platform, or these platforms, the BTP presentations, the presentations during RISE, uh, to see what kind of work is happening in our institute and if that interests you or excites you or not. Many posters you will simply not want to even stop at, but something that captures your interest, stop, ask the people what they are working on, find out their progress, and see if there is something for you to take back. Take the contact details of the professor, reach out to the professor after that presentation, and reach out to the professor after the presentation and see if they have a short internship or 1 2 month thing that you could work with them. If the area excites you, you can do more coursework in that domain. If the area excites you, you can actually work with the same professor or other professors in the domain and take it forward. This is one way. This is the platforms that exist in a big way. Another very interesting thing, which I think every college has, but again is underutilized at almost every college, is that every now and then you must receive emails from some professor or Sanjana or someone else about, okay, there is this talk that is being organized. Why don't you come here? This person will talk about this, that, and so on. So I find that not many students attend those talks. Uh, Whether it is from a professor from one of the renowned universities, some renowned professor, I hardly see student participation. Or if it is, even when I have invited people from the industry, I see that students give it a skip. I know. I know that all of you have a lot of assignments, quizzes, everything. And I'm not denying that. But if you are really interested to build your career in a domain that interests you, if you really do value your time, that okay, I don't want to waste my time on courses or in domain that doesn't interest me. If you value your time and if you are interested in making a mark, then this 1 hour investment every 2 weeks or that 3 hours investment every once in every semester or that 1 day investment at the rise event once a year, I think it is totally worth it. And notice that many students simply miss out on it. So that was my take on how to help you identify which area you are interested in and which area you would want to specialize in. Uh, I keep the field open for any of you to add if you think that. So it's not just these 8 invitees or 9 invitees who can speak. Anyone who is here, if you think that you've found a different way, please share. And also, if you have a question that, oh, this idea is interesting, but then this is the challenge, we can discuss that and we can see how to surmount that challenge also. So, the anyone who wants to add, let's just hear them out. You can unmute.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
like
let's
to
go ahead.
add a point to that. So, so when I was in B.Tech, I'll start by that. So I had a very this interest in cryptography, security, and all those algorithm and stuff. So I was like, okay, these things are quite interesting, but at that time I didn't know that that ECE has something to do with it or it can help me with that. So I just simply joined a startup and some internship under them, and there I found out that all the devices that they were using, which weren't using these encryption algorithms, so they were a very big backdoor, and they were kind of restricted by that. So that backdoor was about the implementation, how this algorithm is actually implemented in the hardware, and how the hardware is like the hardware is secure or not. So they were like literally tied down, like they cannot do anything about it. Hardware बना हुआ है, हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते इसका. So from that point of time, like I was like, ठीक है, जो मेरा interest है cyber security and all those algorithm में, I got that and I saw कि hardware में options हैं that they are not very secure things and there are vulnerabilities. So I just joined my these two interests and pursue a BTP and check how, like, what are the things I can do, what the research, what this like, I can find something which can be helpful or not. So that's how my interest in EC started, and I got go ahead. So I would say for people who are right now very much fascinated by algorithm, fascinated by the all those other CS domain, to be honest. So you should like take up these BTPs and IP and just explore things with professors. For example, Sujay sir, he's working on. I recently bumped up on a paper like there were some vulnerabilities in NOCs and all. So all these faculties in triple IT, right, we are working on a lot of state of the art projects and all. So IPs and BTP, these are the wonderful ways by which you can explore yourself, find your domain or anything that interests you, right? Which can like you can think multiple ways in that. So I would say that's my way of finding my specialization.
Thank you, Aamir. Anyone else who wants to add? Okay. Any questions? Any follow-up questions on this topic? Anyone?
Good morning, sir.
Yes, Arnav.
So we have met couple of times discussing my dilemma about staying in this field and exploring opportunities. What I've found and have been lucky enough that our college provides statistical and learning courses as to fulfill our EC requirements. So I have taken machine learning and reinforcement learning, these two courses this semester. So I have found them very interesting, and now I'm currently exploring the ways to kind of converse these two fields of VLSI and the learning theory, and have gone through many papers, contacted many PhDs who have graduated from our college, working as PhDs in different universities across the world. They are also working on similar projects, and they all say that it is a very glowing field because how the AI domain is getting computationally hungry and asking the VLSI engineers to make it more efficient. So, any comment that you could add on this and how we can align our career opportunities based on our interest, if we find some. This is for in general in any interest.
Yeah. So Arnav, this AI and VLSI is a very hot field. Uh, Many of my PhD students are working on that, and as you rightly said, many of our graduate students are also working in the same domain. And there is work happening in almost every dimension of VLSI, uh, either to use AI to make the designing work more efficient or to design so that AI can work more efficiently, both ways. So at one end, VLSI is enabling more efficient AI implementations. At the other end, uh, AI is actually helping implement those the same chips better. So it's a kind of a virtuous loop that we are in. And you would find a lot of people within IIIT Delhi who are working in this domain. And it's just you spend some time and check out the BTPs that students are doing with different professors, the M.Tech projects that students are doing with different professors. Uh, Whenever the M.Tech thesis presentations happen, the invitation goes to the entire student community also. Just drop by. What if it is an M.Tech project? You will also have to do a BTP project someday. That could be a derivative of this M.Tech project or a build up on this M.Tech project also. What if it interests you? So keep your eyes open and you will find many more opportunities on this. And similarly, I would say that IIIT Delhi is a unique place where there are silos are difficult to form yet. Uh, what I mean with that is you go to IIT Delhi and you suppose work in the integrated electronic circuits domain. And then you say, suppose you're a master's student, you're working in the IEC domain, and you say, oh, I want to do something in communication. The communication folks will not even talk to you. The faculty across two different departments or faculty across two different domains in the same department do not work together. Whereas at IIIT Delhi, you will see that there are no barriers actually. There are no barriers actually. In fact, we encourage a lot of cross-disciplinary work. I am working with professors in design department. I'm working with professors in computer science department. Not as much in computational biology or math yet, but yes, also in social science and humanities department. So over here, we actually work across departments, across domains. And if there is an interest that a student comes up with, um, it just calling up another professor and seeing if there is an interest to go on a joint project with this particular student. That's very, very simple for us. So if there is interest, you reach out to any one of those two faculty or reach out to both of them, both of the experts, and I'm sure we would be able to find uh, an area which is in a confluence of your interests. Does that answer your question, Arnav?
Yes, sir. I also had another part to my question in which we find it difficult to find opportunities which cater our interests.
So we create them. That's what I said. You reach out to the professor who you think is working in the domain and ask them, I want to work on this topic. Amir said that he was interested in cryptography. He approached me and I said, okay, let's see what we can do in cryptography. And that was where we started our journey on cryptography. Who stops you from approaching a professor and sharing that this is what you are interested in, which is a slight deviation from their present area of research? What's the problem with that?
No,
So do that.
Uh, I would like to shed a light the industry perspective of what VLSI and machine learning and RL is happening. So in industry, enough, you know about the GPUs and NVIDIA boom, right? That's a separate part where they are building uh, a machine learning oriented processor, so you can just optimize and just run the algorithm faster, right? So apart from that, there is something as edge AI also. So the normal daily use IoT devices, right? So the industry is also trying to build these intelligence into them at a low cost, right? So you can search in memory compute and all those topics. You will get a lot of things which are happening by which they are like uh, adding some in memory compute compatible like some processing resources in the memories and things like that. So like nowadays, I will say in future, mostly VLSI industry is going to focus a lot on machine learning and all those intelligence part.
oh, thank you, Vijay, thank you.
Thank you, Amir.
So I would also like to add on to your point and Amir Bhaiya's point. So again, as you mentioned, there are two sides to integrating AI with VLSI. So one was where we work on hardware that accelerates our AI-based mechanisms, and the other was where we used AI algorithms or AI like machine learning models to come up with better what do you say? Better tools, better automation tools. And in fact, that is a wide domain of research within itself. Like looking for more automated tools, looking for much optimized algorithms for these tools. So, Arnav, I believe you have done VDF, right? Like that is a course in our college. Uh,
Yes, yes.
this is just in just for a general, uh, I don't know, to give a general idea. We have this course where we come up with software course that we want to generate a hardware chip out of it. So that is defined through a course called VDF. So now what we have noticed is we are shifting on to getting these tools more and more automated, coming up with more AI implementations into these tools. So the fact that you're pointing out that AI and VLSI, like what is the opportunity that has a much broader scope than you could possibly imagine. And in the end, it just comes up like boils down to the point that you just have to approach professors to sort of get an idea or a glimpse as to what the industry is looking for in this particular department and what the academia is also looking for.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Vijay.
Upal. Um, Anyone else?
I would like to add, I'm not really doing VLSI, but my own BTP is with AI and communications. So with Ranjita ma'am. So that's something that you can explore. It's a very popular field right now because of the AI boom. Yeah. So it's a good way to incorporate two things that you like from two different fields.
Thank you. So, I believe you're able to see that many of us have actually done this already, and you can also do it. Arush, you want to say something? Okay. So, I will then move on to the next theme of questions. Uh, Research, where, when, and how to start. So, if you are interested in pursuing research after this, and there are also other questions like how do I get into a Ivy League college? How do I get into the best university? Should I do masters? Should I do dual degree masters from IIIT Delhi, or can I also get a job, or can I also get something right after my B.Tech? So let me start with this job wala thing. That do I really need to pursue a MS degree or a master's degree to get a job in VLSI or in the EC domains? No. I got my first job in EC domain without a master's, and that was 25 years back. And even today, uh, as we just heard from Viyaash and Upal and Krishna, uh, they have also got a job while they are pursuing their B.Tech. And this is not doing a master's to get a job is not a requirement. Then coming to this teaser question that I had put in, why do companies not go for B.Tech students at IIIT and why do they prefer master's students? Mm, let me ask you a question. If you were a business and you had an opportunity to hire someone, just one position you had, there are two people in front of you. One person is more prepared to do your work, can start right away. And the other person, though interested to work with you, knows a bit about your work, your domain, but will take at least a few months to get ready and get started. Who would you choose to work with? Even if this second person has a lot of potential, who would you choose to work with? There is a crisis back in your team. You need something to happen. Who would you choose to work with?
First person.
First one.
First one, someone who is more prepared. You know? So this is commonsensical. Uh, Anyone in their right minds will choose to work with someone who is better prepared because they can already start to deliver soon. And that is what I notice in this. Why do companies not hire B.Techs and why do they hire M.Tech students? Look at it like this. Take up the resume of any of those M.Tech students who competed with you or who competed with your seniors, and take up the resume of your senior. And you will see that those who did not get placed in the core companies and instead M.Tech students were picked up, in majority of the times, you will see that the M.Tech students have done more coursework, more relevant coursework uh, than the B.Tech students. And they were clearly more prepared. And that more is not just one extra course. Uh, that more is actually many, many extra courses, many, many more courses, at least two or three more courses than the B.Tech students. So I have, because I've worked in the industry for a long period of time, I have a lot of friends who come for hiring, and they come for hiring to IIIT Delhi, they go for hiring to DTU, NSUT, all over the place. And many of them independently also approach me that Anuj, I want to hire a B.Tech student. Tell me someone who is good at analog design. And I check with the B.Tech students batch, and there's not a single B.Tech student who has done a course on analog design. Another person comes and says that, okay, I want someone who works in circuits. Get me a good student. Hmm? And then I check with the students as to who is interested to go in circuit design. And uh, there is almost no one who has done at least 2 courses in circuits and systems or some things like that. Uh, Majority of students. So now for EVE batch, DVD kind of is a core course, analog is kind of a core course. But for EC, these are not. And I rarely see people doing these courses. And then I can't even suggest to my friends कि भाई ये अच्छा बच्चा है इसने कोर्स वर्क भी करा हुआ है इसको हायर करो. So if you look at it, M.Tech students do at least 3 or 4 VLSI courses. They have a IP or an IS project in the domain. They also do their master's thesis in the domain. So they are more prepared. But then, is it that B.Tech students cannot be prepared like that? Because itna sara coursework एक ही domain में, how do we do? So to this, my answer is that no one expects our B.Tech students to do as many courses as the master's students, really. But what people do expect is that you have done at least a few basic fundamental courses. If there is someone who has done VDF and they are you standing and wanting to do an RTL to GDS job, wanting to get an RTL to GDS job, but have no clue about what VLSI design flow is, how can the company consider you over the other person? So these courses that we have put as core courses for the EVE domain, they are the foundational courses. ECE students should not miss out on those courses at least. They are really foundational, and you talk to your seniors who've found a job in the domain, and talk to the M.Tech students. M.Tech students, so na, they are getting the job in VLSI, or they are getting almost all the M.Tech students get placed in the core domains only. Talk to them, and they will tell you, oh, these few courses are the key to get a job in the core domain. And none of you do those courses. On the other hand, what is my experience of what B.Tech students are doing? Uh, what I notice is that almost every B.Tech student is scrambling to do this DSA and ADA and all these courses on these are the core courses to get a software coding job, and they are definitely needed if you want a coding job. But again, let us say you also do ADA and DSA somehow, okay? In your open credits, in whatever way, you just scratch your head and you do these 2 courses also. Who are you competing against then? Then you are competing against your other colleagues in the computer science department who have not only done DSA and ADA, but they have also done machine learning, and they've also done deep neural networks. They've also done many other or operating system and data management and so many other courses which enrich their profile as a software engineer. As an ECE engineer, if you prepare and compete for software jobs, you will always be a second grade citizen. In your own institute, you will be treated like a second grade citizens by the people who are coming to hire you. However, however, so see, this was the same dilemma that I had 25 years back. Okay. Uh, Software was booming even then. Software jobs were all over the place. In fact, all my other colleagues, all my other batchmates, from whether they were from textiles or civil or uh, mechanical or chemical, they were all looking for software jobs only. And that was where I started to think, yeah, uh, suppose I get placed in the same company as this guy. Huh? Now, I have worked so hard in the ECE department. This guy from the civil department or from the textiles department or from wherever, they're also smart. They're also in IIT Delhi. So they're equally smart as me. Ranks ऊंचा नीचे होने से थोड़े ना कुछ smartness में फर्क पड़ता है. So they're equally smart. And but they've not worked as hard as I have. And I get the same job as them. And I also get treated as second class citizen in that company that hires me because they will always treat CS graduates as their first class citizens. So it's not just at the time of hiring, even after getting hired, they know more and you know less, and you will be not be able to perform as well as them. So kind of you're choosing a second grade life for yourself. At least that is what I realized for myself. And that was when I said nothing doing. I'm not going into coding. I would go into my core domain and I'm sure I will get a job. And it was with this resolve that I did not even look into coding options at all. Now, does that mean I don't know coding? No, I know coding. All of you are also, you've done introduction to Python and or programming. All of you have also been introduced to some basic courses on programming. I have done courses on operating systems. I have done courses on algorithms. I have done all those courses also, but not with the intent to take a coding job. I did those courses because they were interesting courses. I did courses on graph theory because they were interesting courses. And I thought I could bring together these courses and my learning in ECE to design new solutions. And it really, really helped me. So frankly, I'm not stopping you from doing those courses. What I felt, at least in my judgment, what I felt was that uh, I can easily land into a software job by focusing on these 2 or 3 extra courses. But even if I land in those jobs, I will be equivalent to those other students who could be from NITs and could be from other tier 2 or tier 3 colleges, and they would be sitting next to me. And because they are from NIT, they are considered second grade. And even though I am from IIT, I will be considered second grade because I am from ECE. And I did not want to be treated like a second grade citizen anywhere. I went to the US and I came back primarily because I had this thing that uh, you are not citizen of that place and you do not have equal rights. And I didn't want to be in that space. I believe I am very good. I believe I am very sharp. And I do not want to be, shortchanged for anything less than the best. And I believe that each one of you in this uh, meeting today are equally sharp. In fact, you're sharper than me. You are better than me. You have much, much more exposure than what I had when I was in college. And there's no reason to believe that you should be treated like a second grade citizen anywhere. So I, I, I strongly believe that it is all about preparing. Let us prepare ourselves well to in whichever domain that we are interested in, and there is no way you will not get a job. Even if those companies don't come to campus where you are interested in, if you are working with a professor on a BTP topic, if you're working with someone on an interesting topic, uh, I know all of us have contacts. We can definitely work it out in a way that you get a job. So uh, I think that those of us who are choosing to go into that second grade life, you should think again. Uh, you should think again, really. So, anyone else wants to add something on this topic? I know this is a slight deviation from where we started. We started from research, but this is more about jobs now. But Upal, Viyaash, you've unmuted yourself. Please add.
Yes, sir. I wanted to add on that. So when I started my third year, I was kind of sure that hardware is the domain I wanted to pursue a career in. But I was unsure about what to expect from this domain. Like I did not land any on-campus internships, so I had to search for something off-campus. And I applied to corporate internships, but I mean those positions are highly competitive, and my applications often didn't make past the resume stage itself. So it was kind of tough, but I kept working on building my skills through coursework and projects with profs. I started exploring government organizations. Like, is there any work over there that I can pursue? So I used to go to the web pages of various departments of MIT, which is the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. or Ministry of Defense and look for internship opportunities in the VLSI domain. In fact, I made a list of the departments, like what all are there. Like there is CDAC, there is Defense Electronic Research Laboratory in Hyderabad, and there are other PSUs as well, like ECIL and BEL. So there were opportunities which I could explore, whether it was paid or unpaid, that didn't matter to me. So like that, one of the organization that piqued my interest was SCL, so that's why I went further. So all this exposure and learning that I got through these training, these internships, led led to the led to a better resume for me and got me a job in Synopsys.
Yes, sir. So, yeah,
Okay.
Aamir, bhai, you want to
Okay, you
speak?
can carry on. I'll just call after.
Yes, sir. So, I would just add on to Viyash's point that it is necessary to explore the field. So, yes, when I joined college for the first time, I was personally biased towards setting up an easy career for myself. But when you look at your colleagues around you, especially your B.Tech colleagues, you're just wondering whether I should shift to the software department or not. Like that is a very like you can be biased towards that domain because opportunities come aati hai. You get fewer opportunities as compared to your software folks. But in the end, what I realized is I promised myself that if I join this college, I want to build an easy career for myself. And what I see is all of you folks are out here to actually justify that, yes, you want to build a career in the core department itself. So, yes, it requires a lot of patience, it requires experience as well, and it requires a lot of learning. And it also requires a lot of networking. So, the fact that you believe that you're gonna get everything into your hand, that the placement cell is the only one who's gonna spoon feed you into getting a placement, is not the only task. Yes, the placement cell is there to give you jobs. That is their task. But in the end, you as students can also look out. You can explore. You can check out various startups, various industries, various research areas. So in fact, I'll just set on to my example as well. So before Qualcomm, I mentioned that I got into a startup, Tweak Labs. So again, I worked on the firmware of the products of those, what do you say, of that company, and that eventually got me into got me an opportunity in Qualcomm itself. So you should never stop exploring. You never know what opportunity might come on later at later stages of life with your current sense of learning.
So I've taken dual degree program, so I can give you a comparison between masters and B.Tech students quite more efficiently. So in B.Tech, in first 2 years, I would say we are very much introduced with coding, like introduction to Python हो गया, then DSA, then advanced programming. So हमारा coding background is quite very strong as compared to the master students. The only point where we lag in interviews is that many of my, so in my batch itself, there were only 5 to 8 people out of the entire 60 batch which have taken any VLSI courses in third and fourth year. And unme se bhi 5 people opt for, no, I think 3 people opt for dual degree, and rest all of them were placed. One of my colleague Khalid was placed in Western Digital, Ashutosh was placed in Synopsys. So they all say ki bhai in the interview na the interview checks your profile. Okay, you have this VLSI courses. Okay, they ask you from questions from that, and then they take you. What I have observed in my interviews was in Qualcomm, I gave Qualcomm's interview. I was selected, but HR से out हो गया था. वो अलग बात है. But the one thing I've observed is they saw that I have a very good coding background. I have a very impressive project on my CV. So this already made me stand out as compared to my M.Tech and all the other colleagues. So B.Tech mein, if somebody is doing VLSI core courses, and he has a great coding background, so that is the most attractive CV I would say in the batch. So I would say even to that point, like starting की जो दो company आए थे, I was selected in all two of them. So first the Qualcomm came, selected me, but HR out. Then Synopsys came and it selected me. So it was not like I didn't get job. I would say I get job very easily. Similarly with Khalid also. I think Western Digital was his second company, and he was placed in that. The only reason was in third year, I think that guy almost did all the VLSI courses available. DHD, AELD, VDF, MDT, DVD. He did everything. And he was also doing a project under Dr. Sumit. Similarly, Piyush was also there. He is in Siemens right now. And he is also on the same path. Like he was also with us and doing all these courses on this, again, the courses I mentioned. And one more thing is, we kind of are scared कि यार M.Tech के बच्चे हैं, they have cleared gate, अब उसके बाद आ रहे हैं जॉब ऐसे या पढ़ाई करने के लिए, बिल्कुल नहीं है भाई. I have done literally all the courses with M.Techs only. सब मैं अकेला था, मैं था, and there were few more students from B.Techs, and that's it. And we were actually getting a very high GPA, I would say 9-10 GPA आराम से आ रही थी, and it was very interesting also, क्योंकि मतलब now you are okay. So हमने जो पढ़ा है सर्किट्स का, सेमीकंडक्टर्स का, ठीक है, वो बेसिक पढ़ा है मतलब जेई वगैरह के कोर्स में. But now when I see the actual implementation, तो अपने आप एक interest आता है. So just go through one of these courses if you have done or not done. Just take some courses and check it out. कि how is things are happening. So you will obviously understand that interest भी आता है. Plus your coding knowledge, it's very very much used in industry. Like I'm working in ST, and वहाँ पे भी we have trainings on Python, we have trainings on AI, we have training on machine learning. And being from triple IT, I have a very good background already. So अब मुझे वहाँ पे कोई issue नहीं आ रहा है. I'm actually cruising and I'm actually like exploring with experts and working with projects with them. Apart from my job है वो product deliver कर रहा हूँ मैं, but at the same time, just because I had a good amount of knowledge from triple IT, मैंने domain explore करे VLSI के, मैंने coding भी पूरा explore करा. I'm now able to do some side research project. So yeah, like courses जो भी हैं triple IT में, they're curated very well, and you should, I would say, take VLSI courses.
So
Arya?
what do you mean by good
Yeah,
coding background?
Coding background, I would say, from the courses, like first 2 years में आपको Python, introduction to Python होता होगा, DSA, right? All those algorithms वो होंगी. And ये सब use कहाँ पे होते हैं? आगे there are courses like AELD, there are courses like DHD. So Verilog में you have to program a lot of things. And in DHD you have to program actually a game in Verilog, I believe, if the course project is there or not. And in AELD, you have to develop some AI algorithm. I think Khalid was also working with some algorithm, AI algorithm or AES. I don't remember that. But you have to implement algorithm on the C coding. And then that is actually diverted into basically hardware software co-designing. That's the topic of that course. So in that, जो भी coding background आपका use हुआ in first 2 years में develop करा आपने, that logics and all are now used in that courses. So basically what I'm trying to say by a strong coding background is all these courses, they build up your coding ethics, I would say, your coding aptitude. So that was I was trying to say about.
So Amir, when you say all these courses, you're saying the coding courses that you every one of you are anyway doing in the first 2 years. No extra
Exactly.
courses required.
No, I think those are enough for that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Amir. Does that answer your question, Naman?
Yes, sir, of course.
Okay. Arya?
Yes, so I currently have a master's offer from University of British Columbia, and I'm in the process of applying for master's and PhD this month. So I might elucidate a bit more on the research aspect and like how
Yes.
to get into research in particular. So I think research is very much about the interest you have and the skill sets you're able to develop while getting more experiences. So when I first entered college, I had no idea about the particular field I would go into, but I knew that I had like a knack for physics. So before even entering the college, I was the case of I didn't really want to do engineering. I was thinking of doing physics all along. And I entered this college, and I was like, I want to be able to go into a field where I can explore my actual interests. So I remember in second year, I went through all I went through the website and went through the research interests of all the professors in our college to see which one would strike my interest and which one would allow me to actually pursue my interests. So I approached Professor Krishna Ghosh through email, and I asked him whether we could have a meeting and whether we could talk about his research and in what way I could pursue this topic in the future. And I think that was the first stepping stone. In research, it is very much like a step-by-step process. It takes time to build up your resume, to build up your CV, and to build up your experiences. Because when you apply for research internships outside, they not only look at your experiences and like where you work, but they also look at what skill sets you've developed. So after working with Professor Ramkrishna Ghosh for I think 2 semesters. I think I started in semester 3, wherein I approached him and we started talking about the knowledge base I would need to have to pursue this field, wherein we used to have weekly meetings and actually study solid state physics. So I could eventually go into this research, because going into any field is a moot point if you do not have the knowledge base to support it. And I remember at the end of second year, I did a SURF program of our college only, which was a summer research fellowship program that allowed me 3 months of pure research during the summer and to actually get a feel about what it is actually like. I think the primary thing you want to do is you want to see whether you like research or not. And doing programs like these would actually help you in deciding whether this kind of field is for you or no, because it's quite different from an industrial job. And yeah, sorry for the disturbance, but I think it's a very step-by-step process. And after working with my professor for a long time, I realized this is the field I want to go into. And after the summer I did my cert, I applied to a lot of research programs, including M.Tech. So I got my research internship during the summer through M.Tech. And doing all these like projects and all these like explorations really helped me. When I applied for MyTax, I didn't apply for quantum devices. So my research till now had been on magnetoresistive RAMs. But when I applied to MyTax, I applied with the fact that I knew how to do density functional theory, which is the process of like simulating these like nanomaterials. So because I had developed the skill set, I applied to this other project, which was very different. I applied to a battery project actually. And the professor saw that I had research experience in DFT, and he just took me in because very few people actually knew how to process these nanoscale materials. So I think if you're able to develop skill sets, and if you're able to be proactive and approach, I think the major thing is you have to be very proactive. You have to approach professors yourselves. The college can provide you all the resources, but if you do not approach professors yourself, if you do not try yourself to find out new opportunities, it will not be possible. There are multitudes of research internships available for you to apply to. All IITs have internships. You have MyTax, you have DAD, you have EPFL, you have ET Zurich, which offer these summer internships, and that would really help boost your profile. So if you have collected these internships, these experiences, once you apply for your master's, and if you are able to maintain a good GPA in general, you will be able to prove to your college that you have the necessary experience to be actually be able to pursue research in the future. Yeah.
Thank you, Arya. Arya, I have one question. I know someone on the students would also ask you this. What do you mean by good GPA?
Yeah, that is a very, I think, relative field. I think so. When you're applying for colleges, from what I've gathered in talking to my professor in Canada and here, is that you need a baseline CGPA. After that, it's your experiences that matter. It's not like getting a 9.5 would get you a spot in an Ivy League college. It will not. Your experiences will. But a lot of times GPA is used as a filtering criteria. So what I've been suggested is that you should keep like your CGPA, you should try to keep it above 8. Most colleges have a CGPA cutoff of 7.5, I would say, if you convert it to like a 4 grading process. But if you are able to keep it above an 8, I think you have like a fighting chance, wherein they would look at your other scores, maybe your GRE, maybe all your experiences, and they would put that above your CGPA. It's just a filtering criteria, I think.
Yeah. Thank you, Arya, for this input, because uh, this is what I usually also tell my students, that don't fight for GPA so much that you do not do anything else in your life. Okay. Uh, GPA is necessary, and you have to have that baseline threshold GPA. Anything above that is good. Uh, okay, those who get a 9 are doing really, really well. But if you have anything above 8, you are very safe. If you have an above 7.5, you're doing good. You're doing good. There could be something that some places you may be filtered out, but mostly you will still get through. And at 7.5 or more, uh, like less than 8, but 7.5 or more, if you have a great internship or a summer project or some work experience, like we're trying to bring in opportunities with many universities across the world to IIIT Delhi. Uh, and even if those opportunities are not there, when Aarya went to University of British Columbia, we do not have a written agreement with UBC. She approached UBC faculty herself and she got a place there. I have students who have worked at MIT, I have students who have worked at UCSD, UCLA, the best of the best universities. All you need to do is do some proactive hard work yourself. And it is not that ये आपको करना पड़ रहा है. Anyone in the CS department who wants to get into a good Ivy League college, they also have to do exactly this. Anyone from IIT Delhi also, if they want to get into a good college, they also have to do it exactly like this. So this is, you have to be, so okay, so this is one thing that I have observed. Uh, Many of you somehow believe that the school should be doing some, like just like the school used to do something for you, many of you believe that the college should also be doing something for you. No, now you're grown up, you're adults. You want us to treat you as adults, don't you? You don't want us to tell you exactly what to do, how to do, and all that. So, when you are adults, you find your path yourself. We can support you, we can help you, we can guide you, we can facilitate you. But don't expect that the institute, that the college, the placement cell, or your professors will identify your pathway for you. And then not one pathway. You expect that I have to choose from one of those five, and all those five should be offered to me on a platter. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that in life. And you better come to terms with this fact while you are here, because we are preparing you for life. Huh? So you, it is important that you take ownership of your career. Whatever it takes, reach out to professors at IIIT Delhi. Go check out the work that students are doing in their BTPs and the BTP poster presentations. Take ownership of your career. Be responsible for yourself. Be responsible for your career, and there's no stopping you. Hmm? Any questions?
Yeah, sir. I had a question.
Yes, Madhav.
Not really related to research particular, but so like for at least for computer science, when we look at that field, so for internships that they have at the end of second year or at some period, they have like a clear roadmap per se by other sources of what to specifically prepare for during the internship interviews and other processes. So, could we like get some information about if, suppose if we are in the end of second year in EC or EV, so what particular courses should we focus on while preparing for such kind of opportunities in the EC domain specifically or the EV domain?
So, thank you for this question, Madhav. I would say that uh, if you're looking for a internship at the end of your second year, then for EVE, for example, or ECE, both of you, I would say that courses like DC, IEC, and the core courses that you've been introduced to, those could be valid for internships in VLSI area. If you're looking for something in communication or machine learning, courses like signal processing, probability and statistics, and they could be interesting. So, all the core courses that we introduce you to in the first and second year, they are the foundational courses. And if you focus on the ones that are relevant for the position that you are applying for, that's great. Does that answer your question or no? I left you in the lurch, Madhav. So the basic thing is that the The foundational courses that you are introduced to in the first 2 years, you do them well and you will get a good placement. Okay, now will the placement cell bring you that placement to you? I don't think so. At the end of second year, the placement cell will not do anything for you. Hmm? And when we talk of is my voice clear? Hello?
Yeah, it
Yes,
fluctuated
sir.
a bit in between.
Okay. So was my previous answer clear? Could you get my previous answer there?
Like about we missed about 15 seconds of your
Oh, 15
previous answer.
seconds. Okay. So I was talking about the fact that all the foundational courses have a deep relevance in one or the other internship opportunity that you may want to explore. So whether it is field and waves or signals and systems or DC or basic electronics or integrated electronics, all these courses are actually foundational courses, and that is what you should be looking at. You already, Amir already mentioned that the kind of coding background that you get in the first 2 years, that is strong enough for any ECE job, and that's good enough. What you really need to do in preparation is identify places where you want to apply for internship. As Viyaash was mentioning, that he made a list of various defense organizations and opportunities there, and so on. And as Upal mentioned, and this we are privileged at IIIT Delhi that identify a startup in the college itself and intern with them in the interns in the period of second year, in the intervening summers of first and second year or second and third year. Intern with them. There are so many startups working in the core domain, whether it's drones or whether it is IoT or whether it is so RF, हर तरह की startups. We have startups in the incubation center. We have startups in the iHub, Anubhuti, and we have startups in Entrepreneur Park. IIIT Delhi is the only college in the country to have three incubation centers, and of which one of them is purely catering to electronics, the Entrepreneur Park. The other two are catering to technical. Both the other two are catering to technical startups. And of those technical startups, again, so many of them are from drone or electric mobility and so on. Yes, there are service startups also there. Don't go there because if you go there, you will end up with coding jobs, purely coding jobs. Go to the ones like Tweak Labs. Okay, Tweak Labs is no longer with our incubation center, but there's so many others. There is eDrone, eNod, and there is Go Bikes, and there are so many others. Go to them. And there are so many in the Electropreneur Park. Just go intern with them. And all that they need is your commitment and that you will put your heart and soul into it. That's it. And yes, if you're looking for 1 lakh packages and internships, oh, then you are selling your dreams to become a second grade citizen. Does that help, Madhav?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else on this? Anyone wants to add or ask any further question on this? Okay, I think we have talked about how to get a good job already in various experience sharings. We also talked about how to get a good internship just now. We talked about how to get into a Ivy League university also. Then there is this question on, are ECE and EVE branches really tough? So someone has asked that or shared their experience in this question answer in this question that when he mentioned to the seniors at the time of interaction when he had joined IIIT that I am an ECE. Oh, the immediate response or the retort was, "Oh, welcome, bro. Just 3 back lagengi." And this kind of scared him. And he genuinely is curious to understand that is it really the case that 3 bag lagengi, or is it that someone has just made it up? So uh, from where I look at it, I would say that uh, uh, बैक लगेंगी कि नहीं लगेंगी entirely आप पे होता है. If you are regular with your classes, if you are doing attending classes, preparing, doing assignments and quizzes, there is no way that you will get a back. I do not think so. However, if you are still in that COVID mode where you think that watching lectures online is a good replacement for offline classes, mm, there is something wrong there. See, this would work when you have good textbooks. This would work when you have good online resources to make up for the physical classes. And this is available for CSE students in a way. Okay. Why? Because just like you or anyone, like the psychosis in the country is that CSE job is the best job. The understanding in the country is that CSE job is the best job. ऐसा लगता है ना? अगर आपको भी सीएससी का कहीं पे एडमिशन मिल रहा होता तो आप कहते मैं सीएससी का ले लेता हूँ, ईसी का नहीं लेता. तो वो एक भेड़ चाल है ना. दैट इज काइंड ऑफ अ रैट रेस, और दैट इज काइंड ऑफ द द हैपनिंग थिंग इन दिस प्लेस. सो people want to watch CSE content, and there are so many creators who make that content because they get the views. Hmm? And therefore, out of so first there could be 2000 videos on one particular topic in the CSE, in the CSE domain, and of those 2000 videos, probably 10-20 would be good. Okay, and those 10-20 collectively could be good in the entire CSE domain also. Uh, that's not how it is in the ECE and EVE domains, by the way. First, ECE domains are very, very, at least VLSI for that matter, is very industry driven. A lot of cutting edge research happens in the industry and not in the academia in VLSI domain. Uh, and therefore, to really get a handle on good videos, tutorials in this domain is not easy. People who are working in the industry don't have time to build those videos. वो इतने वेले नहीं है. वेले नहीं है का मतलब दे नो लॉन्गर स्टूडेंट्स नाउ. स्टूडेंट्स को मैं वेला नहीं कहूंगा, बट स्टूडेंट्स के पास फिर भी टाइम रहता है टू make videos, create videos, and support others. Then we come to professors. Yes, there are professors. There are some good courses on NPTEL. All my coursework is on YouTube. But frankly, where you would have probably 2000 resources for a topic, for any given topic in computer science, when it comes to VLSI or when it comes to uh, ECE, other domains, and that number of courses would reduce, online courses would reduce to something like 100. And if I simply apply the same ratio कि वो 2000 में से 20 अच्छे थे, तो इन 100 में से एक या दो ही अच्छे होंगे. And of those trillions of YouTube channels or those thousands of technical YouTube channels, to identify that one or two good videos, it's not easy. Okay, so you will have to study them, and you will have to you'll have to watch those videos and then give your exam and then see, oh, it didn't work for me, and then the exam is already gone, and then you switch over to another channel and oh, again it doesn't work for me, and the entire course is gone and you have flunked your grade. Okay, so if you're thinking that you can depend on YouTube channels and online media to fill in for ECE courses, that is where you're grossly mistaken. But if you are just like in school, if you are willing to come to the class, attend classes, okay, school, there was an attendance rule. You were okay now. So many of you are also coming from the dummy school perspective, जहाँ स्कूल जाना ही नहीं था. स्कूल में कौन क्या पढ़ाता है? टीचर्स को क्या आता है? हमारे को तो कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट से ही सब कुछ पढ़ने को मिलता है. आई नो मेनी ऑफ यू कम फ्रॉम दैट ethos or that background also. So I would say that you need to stand corrected there. IIIT is very, very well known for the quality of faculty we have here. And what we mean by that is that what they are telling you, what they are teaching you is probably not there in the books. We are a research-led teaching institute, and many topics that we cover in our coursework could be more recent research than any book there out there. So if you think that those books can substitute your professors, or you think that some videos from some Tom, Dick, and Harry college student can replace your professors, I think you're mistaken. A quick sanity check. A quick sanity check, huh? There is a topic that you want to learn. It's an arcane topic. It's a difficult topic. There are two people who you could be going to. One of them is doing their B.Tech or M.Tech from some university, and another one is actually teaching, has done his PhD from the best universities in the world, and is also teaching that kind of topic on a regular basis. Who do you think is the right person to go to? Anyone? Is
The
it that
second
if
one.
the second one? Okay. Anyone else? ये तो कृष्णा ने बोला, वो तो तुम कहोगे मैंने प्लांट करा है. Any one of the other people who are there as visitors? Is it too difficult a
Second one,
question to ask?
sir. No, sir. Second one.
Second one. So I think it's pretty obvious, is it not? But then the choice that you are making when you're missing classes is the first one. So you need to decide if that is a smart choice or not. And from what I know, professors at IIIT go out of the way to explain the topics. They go out of the way to help you understand if you do not understand what they have taught. They have office hours. You can approach to them outside of office hours also, and they would be happy to help. So when you have this kind of a willing resource available, you choose to not go to them, but to some video from a tier 2 or probably even a tier 1 college, but still a student. And you think that is going to be better. Interesting. And frankly, if you're anyways going to NPTEL courses are good. Again, if you're using those resources, I don't think you're going to flunk unless and until the topics that are covered in and the way they are treated in your curriculum at IIIT Delhi is more experiential and practical than what is covered in the books that NPTEL professor might have used. So that is again one thing, many professors in the country, many professors in the country do not have any experience in the industry. They did their B.Tech, they did their masters, they did their PhD, they did their postdoctorate also, and then they immediately joined college as a professor or something. Okay, many of them then do go for sabbaticals and work with the industry for 6 months or 1 year durations, and they get better insights into what the industry needs. But a lot of professors in the country do not have that kind of exposure. And therefore, even when you choose a course from NPTEL, please do look at the profile of the professor whose course you are choosing. And if you believe that their profile is better than the profile of the professor who is teaching the same course at IIIT Delhi, great, be my guest to the NPTEL course. But I'm proud of my colleagues, and I believe that the faculty at IIIT Delhi is par excellence. It would be rare that you will have better courses, even on NPTEL, than what my professor colleagues are teaching over here. Again, I might be wrong for a few of my professors, and I cannot say this for all the courses, but I think a majority of the courses that we are teaching at IIIT Delhi, we really have very, very good professors teaching them. So I would say that whether you get a back or not is not about the department or about the coursework. It is more about uh, are you getting, are you learning the topic from the right source? Uh, Finding alternate right sources in ECE is not easy. And therefore, a much easier route is to just attend the classes and be regular. There is no way you will ever get a back. At least that is what my experience has been when I was doing my studies, and even when I today see the students in my class or other students, and I'm the UG advisor, so I get to meet a lot of you. I think that is what my experience over here also is. I would let others also respond. Viyaash and like they are your seniors, they are doing the same coursework at IIIT that you are doing. What is your take on this?
I would like to add a point to that.
Yes, Aamir.
Uh, so first of all, why is CSE so you can say attractive is because it's open source. For example, Python, Linux, these both are totally open source, right? And that's one of the reason why. But in EC, you can see all the tools they have licensed, and that's probably one of the major reason which I observe is that there is not much attractiveness seems to be attractiveness to EC. Although there are like Google is also working on one of the open water that's open sky PDKs, right? But the work is actually very slow as compared to what the giants are working on, like Synopsys and all. So one point is this, maybe why people do not are not very interested in towards the CC. Secondly, regarding that,
So, Aamir,
mhm.
1 minute. When you're saying people are not interested in ECE, means you mean to say that people do not create teaching content on ECE because then to support that teaching content they need licensed software? Or do you mean that people in general are not interested in ECE? What is it that you meant there?
So let's take an example. For example, in my B.Tech, there were a lot of my colleagues who were actually collaborating with few of the repositories, few of the projects which were open source. So what happens is GitHub, let's say some guy is working on the project. So he will add the project to GitHub and say, "Ki, these are the bugs which are there." So then my like some of my colleagues, they were actually doing that bug resolution and sending their uh, collab request to that GitHub repository. So that was a collaborative work which was happening just because the tool was open source, right? And
Okay.
that's how we were actually interested कि क्या कर रहा है भाई तू बहुत एक higher level की repository पे collab कर रहा है, that in the first year itself. So that was quite interesting, but nothing of such I have seen is happening in the ECE domain. There
Mhm.
are things like, for example, the Google's, which I told you, the PDK by Google, some open source tools. Students are working on them, but it is not much into limelight as of now. So that
Yeah.
was I was trying to say about open source.
Okay.
And secondly, regarding the lecture alternatives, so take an example. For example, there is a course on FPGAs, right? In that course, either you can get a 9 or 10, or I've seen that kids either get a 9 or 10 or a very lower grade of 6 7 grade. So what I have seen is most of the content of that lecture is coming from documentation of FPGAs. If you ever open that documentation, it's 1,000 page long complete documentation, and Sumit sir has actually read all of that and find out the important points and then covered the contents of the course. So if you're actually missing out the lectures, the only alternative is you have to go back, read that entire 1,000 page long documentation, and that's kind of not it's not possible in the semester time. So that's probably the one of the major reason I have seen student getting lower grades, because they think कि, okay हम खुद cover कर लेंगे, and that's a trap, I would say. And secondly, I've also experienced like courses like electrodynamics by Shubha ma'am. So in the class itself, when you are reading a concept, you get a lot of like interesting doubts. So I had a doubt about the transfers wave. How is it there was in parallel and horizontal components, and how are they collaborating and all. So during the class, at the class now, I didn't had an objective to cover the course. My objective was, okay, I'm in the class, I want to learn, right? So that objective led me to get my curiosity go wild. So I was able to run my curiosity engine at that point. But when people are not in the class, they're just for the sense of covering the courses, they're not able to go into the curiosity road, and they're unable to taste the flavor of what the course is offering. So I would say attending the lecture helps you in multiple ways, like developing your interest, reading the material, and getting your doubts cleared, I would say. So there are a lot of, we can say, help if you are attending the lectures.
Thank you, Amir. Anyone else wants to add anything?
No, I'd
Viyaash,
like to
Pritha,
actually
yeah.
add a point here because I had the same doubt when I was entering college. Like, how hard is ECE going to be? Because for me, it came from a background where I felt like, will I have to drop out my other interests in order to pursue this degree? And I really like for me, like studies is one aspect, but I really like sports and music and other things. So, is ECE that competitive? Is ECE that hard that I'll have to give out? No, I won't be able to get time. So one of the seniors told me, भाई भूल जा यार खेलना तो ट्रिपल आईटी का कल्चर नहीं है. So I was like, अच्छा, very interesting point, you know. And then another one told me कि अरे नहीं यार music क्यों अब तो मतलब, you know, there's no point, you know, just study. So I was like, okay, these are very interesting point of views. It was a bit disheartening, you know. I had this conversation with my dad, and I was like, you know, I'm not sure if I want to do this then, you know. But I took it up on me as a challenge, and I thought very logically and rationally. I said, okay, if people are telling me this, you know, I'll have to cut out on some maybe, you know, socializing or like other aspects where I thought, okay, I am in such a situation where I cannot find time, so I'm going to cut out on, you know, other time pass or whatever I do. And eventually I realized that, you know, it's just about how you prioritize things in your life. Like, you know, if you find this, you know, a priority, then you would give that a priority in respect to other things. And like eventually I realized it's also about like the process. So EC is more of like, you know, enjoying the process, because even right now I'm not like I've landed up in a job or a place where I feel settled. You know, there are a lot of things, uncertainties every day. I'm like, you know, with new doubts, new, you know, challenges. I'm not sure where it's going to take me, but I've sort of settled into the process and realized that ups and downs are normal. And you know, and with courses like specifically, things have been really hard. And for me, third semester was specifically really hard because I had ELD, CTD, SNS, AP, and math, and I wanted to play. So there was no way I could, like, you know, I remember just crying. There were days I was crying. I was like, oh my god, how am I going to manage all of this? SNS is not easy. ELD requires time. CTD was one class where, you know, I felt like, okay, I can figure things out here. And then there was math, and then there was AP. So I was like, okay, there's not even one course I can, like, you know, back my grade on. So, but that was when I realized that averaging out is also very normal, like accepting your limitations and then using it as a strength somewhere else is important. So I think like that's a very important thing as a degree, like as a student. Now we're not school kids, we're not supposed to be getting 97, 98 everywhere. It's normal to get 75 sometimes. It's okay, it's fine. Give yourself that space, and at the same time put in all the efforts, take, you know, put, just give yourself in the process, and you will eventually land up in a place, you know, you'll opportunities come by. Like it's not a one way path where if you have this that it's going to work, you know. Everything, it's opportunity, it's a duality. So maybe you don't have a very good grade, but you have an overall, it works. Maybe you have a very good grade, you don't have like the other aspects that don't support you. So it's how you balance out, and I think that's what's important. And pri- priorities change like in life. So eventually academics is not everything, it's a part of your life, and you have to learn how to deal with other challenges also. So I think that's really important, and probably that's where like that question comes from, like, is EC really that hard? Like, and it's not that hard. In fact, I eventually realized it's one of the most fun courses because it's hard for other people. So I just have to solve three questions in order to get an 8. And in CSE the issue is like one question you miss and you are down a grade. But in ECE, you have scope, you have hope till the end. So just don't give up and it'll work out. So that's what ECE is for me until now. And I'm really liking it. So I think it's about perspectives eventually.
Thank you, Pritha.
Yeah.
And I would say that my experience has also been very similar in the sense that third semester is tough. It is tough. It was tough 25 years back, and it is tough today because it is the first time you are getting into all those heavy foundational courses all of a sudden, and so many of them all together. It is tough, but thank you, Pritha, for bringing this point out that we have to leave out our school mentality now. We can't be getting 100% or 90% in every course, and it's not done. It's not even expected of you. It's fine. जहाँ पे आपको अच्छा लग रहा है आप वहाँ पे अच्छा करो, जहाँ पे आपको लो हैंगिंग फ्रूट्स दिख रहे हैं आप वहाँ पे अच्छा करो और आप वहाँ पे A- और A ग्रेड टारगेट करो, और जहाँ पे इतना अच्छा नहीं लग रहा वहाँ पे एवरेज कर लो. इट इज फाइन, एब्सोल्युटली फाइन. If you target to be 100% in every course, everywhere, you are in for a toss. And uh, you will not be able to also give time to your other interests. But आप अगर ध्यान दो, so just this is something that I noticed a few days back. Even now, today, if you notice, the leadership roles that faculty across different departments are playing, you will see that ECE faculty are just about 25% in total, but they have more leadership roles in the institute than any other faculty. Okay, the share of leadership roles that ECE faculty takes up is more. Why? Because they somehow know how to multitask. They learned that in their third semester. They somehow are not overwhelmed by a huge volume of work. They've handled it through their B.Tech years. So this is a training that each one of us has gone through, and you can go through, and you just need to be regular and persevere. Pritha said that she plays sports. Viyaash just 2 weeks back came back from ITBHU and with trophies and medals. I know of Raghav who is who pursued his masters from CMU, also did a internship in CMU. He was the institute gold medalist, and he was actually the gold medalist of ECE, and he was also one of the gold winners in the athletic meets at multiple inter university events that we had. So ECE students actually learn how to multitask, and they actually can do very, very well in many more domains than where I see CSE students are. So use this third semester, or use this, you know, juggling thing that you learn in the third semester and the fourth semester to your advantage, and do it big. Again, और जहां से मैं देखता हूँ, it requires regularity and time management. Questions, comments?
Sir, I think that's a very good point that you put up, right? So, we as bachelor students, we come, we have much more time to come here and acclimatize with the institute and the workload. Whereas, these master students, if we just say they come in with a mission, like we have to come, we have to, secure a job and we have to leave. So that's that. But I think also this is a very good time to advertise that. See, even I have my flute performance tomorrow, and Pandit Hari Prasad Chaurasia ji will also be there, and I'll be sharing stage with him. So
Wow.
also like so apart from that, like in the third semester, I don't know if I was foolish, but apart from all these courses that Pritha mentioned, I took up many more leadership roles too. So I took up student senate too, and I think I was very fortunate that they conducted this open house thing there. And I was given the duty to, show parents around the R&D block. So I took it as an opportunity to know about all the labs that are there, and I circled out my interest too, apart from showing the parents like what they were interested in. So I circled out my interest. अच्छा ठीक है, SSH floor में market analysis is something I want to do, quant is something I want to do. Then again in the sixth floor I want to do VLSI and SOC वाला part. And so I circled out my interest. अच्छा ठीक है, these are some things that I want to try, and naturally software development too. So, as Amir Bhai also said that till the third semester we have most of the CSC courses, and I got to know, acha, theek hai, this is something I can do, but this is not something that is clicking with me, and I want to do it for a very very long time. So then I think, okay, let's try this business management thing. Then I went for this quant, and I think internships are the best means to experience something, and you get to know like what is actually happening in all these firms and industry, like as an industry as a whole. So again, like summers, they are a very good opportunity to experience. Like most of the students, they utilize their summers in completing their CW and SG credits, whereas you can utilize it to know the intricacies of the industry that are there. Most of the faculties offer IPs and BTPs or internships, whatever, like surf internship that Arya was talking of. So we can utilize summer during for that purpose too. So that was when like also I had an interaction with Sumit sir, Sujay sir, like, Acha, what do you do in your lab? I spoke to their PhDs, on the reason that I want this for the open house thing. I fulfilled my questions too, and that really helps. I got to know like my interests are aligned with which labs, and I circled out my interests, and that helps you to work and expedite in whatever direction that you wish to go forward in.
Thank you, Krishna, and all the best for your performance tomorrow.
Right, so that was why I was mum for a while. My instructor was here.
Okay. Yes. Anyone else? Any additional questions or comments? So
I would just
then,
want to add a
yeah,
point, sir. Sorry. One of the thing I've observed is when I was a TA for multiple courses, people never come in office hours. So there's this try to understand the things on themselves. I would say you should come to office hours and have a brief understanding of what's happening. So as I think Aarya also mentioned, approaching seniors is important. For example, approach your PhD people, approach faculties if you have doubt, if you have issues in some research point of view, you can approach them. One of my colleagues, Soumya, also, she in first year itself approached Dr. Sambudho, and she was working in OS in the first semester, summers itself. So I would say triple IT is a very great stage if you want to approach faculties and got to like learn something. I've never seen any faculty saying no to any student about something. So even I have approached Sumit sir, Anuj sir, and there was some professor working with robotics. I forgot. I think he
Sujit.
has shifted. Hi, yeah, Sujit sir. So I was also approached him. Also worked on some of the ROS things also. So it's like they never say no. So they always like, okay, we have some project, some topic to for you to learn. So the first thing is we as a student we should first take the first step. So that is something which I've seen missing in my entire batch. So very few people were courageous enough to take this first step, and they have benefited. I can literally list the name of people and where they are right now, just because they took this first step.
Thank you, Amir. And I really would exhort you to take this first step then, all of you. Then coming to the next, kind of the last of the thing. Uh, Someone said that I also like software. What options do I have in ECE or EVE? As Amir also mentioned, software basis that you get to learn in the first 2 years is very, very sufficient to handle uh, many software related works, even in the technical domain. Uh, Communications requires a lot of software. VLSI requires a lot of software. There is entire domain CAD for VLSI, where you learn how to write software that is used to design chips. The tools that Cadence makes and the tools that Synopsys and Siemens make, how to make those tools, how to do all that. So while again over there, the coding part is what I would leave it to the coders from CSE who have more background in database management and all those things. But the technical part of it, what to code, what algorithm to use, that is something where EC students can just, companies like Cadence, Synopsys, Siemens, and others, they pay really, really well to EC students. Not just because, okay, they want to kind of, I always say that's like golden shackles. You know, वो सोने की बेड़ियां हैं जो आप तोड़ना नहीं चाहते हो. They pay well so that you don't leave their place. But one reason why they pay well is also because it's rare to find a electronics engineer who is also good at coding. Look at all these M.Techs who we have in our institute. Ask them anything about coding. The ECE M.Techs, they have no idea. No college in the country gives that coding background to their ECE or mechanical or civil or other students. In IIIT, you are fortunate to have that coding background. Make most of it. Any job that you will do, coding will be required today. But coding should not be the mainstay of your job. The mainstay of your job should be the problem that you're solving, not coding for the heck of coding. Web page development, yeah. Anyone from NITs can do it. Anyone from any other college can do it, and they could just spend more time and do it better than you. Why do you want to compete with them? you are fortunate to have a niche where, see, for many other jobs, there are 600 students who are competing. For ECE jobs, it's only 100 of you. Do you see that? So, and there are so many ECE jobs also. So, I would say there's no point in frittering away your energies to become a second grade citizen. Instead, focus on how to utilize the wonderful resources we have at IIIT Delhi to take your career forward. So software plus ECE and EVE, definitely a big thumbs up. Many opportunities there. Any lab that you go to, you will see that there are such opportunities. I've had students working with me on in-memory compute and software. There are students working with Sujay on computer architecture and software. So many places software and ECE actually work together. There's no way we can't. Okay. Someone asked about PCB design and what courses I can take. So PCB design is something that for the EVE students, you only have the second year course called Embedded System Design. This year, we also followed it up with the Intelligent Product Design workshop. So those two courses together can bring you to PCB design. We're also in the Center for Intelligent Product Development. We also have this certificate program that is coming up, where very intricate topics linked to PCB design will also be taught. And you don't want to do the entire certificate program, that's fine. You can just join in for the sessions where we're talking about PCB design and learn about it. CIPD is an open place where all students are invited to get their hands dirty on Arduino and play with, create something about IoT, robotics, and the like. You can design your PCBs, print them, solder them, just play around. CIPD is a place where you can do all of that also. Uh, in fact, we're also thinking of coming up with an IoT workshop in the winters just now, next month. So you can utilize your winter break also to get some nice project done and add that in your resume. So there is a lot of activity that happens in the ECE department. You just need to be in the department, visit the department, keep your eyes open, and respond to the calls. If you think that someone will come to you and then take you holding your hand into a room and ask you to design a PCB, that's not going to happen. If you're interested in something, look for opportunities, and there are abundant of them. And if by chance there is not one, there's not the opportunity that you're looking for, I'm sure you will find something adjacent to it. And if not, reach out to the professors. They will create such opportunities for you. Okay. There's no one telling you that जो है बस वहीं पे हमारा काम limit हो जाता है. If you're thinking it bigger than what we have thought of, we are happy to work with you and bring that opportunity to you. So just take that first step. Find out for yourself. Abhi, before the winter break starts, you will have these BTP presentations, poster presentations. Commit that you will spend 2 hours on that day to walk around the corridors and see what your ECE seniors are doing. Find that out. It will make a big difference. Huh? So from the list of questions, I think I have covered everything. I obviously have not spoken out every question, but I have identified the themes and I've talked about every theme. Is there anything else that you want to know? And I will be happy to talk about that. Or anything else that others also want to add, please feel free to add.
Sir, I have doubt regarding the dual degree program at IIIT Delhi.
Mm-hmm.
So currently I am in third semester in EVE,
Okay.
and I'm planning to do M.Tech in VLSI via
Okay.
dual degree. But
Okay.
the M.Tech VLSI core courses are also the core courses of my B.Tech. So
Yes.
will that courses will be counted at both the places for the B.Tech and for the M.Tech VLSI, or only for the B.Tech EVE program?
See, the core courses will be counted at both the places. Other courses, Amir, would you want to pitch in and share your experience?
Yeah, so what happens is for VLSI and embedded system specialization, you have a bucket of courses that you have to do, right? And if you have done those in your, let's say, B.Tech or M.Tech, if you have satisfied the requirement, then I think you're good to go. So I had done all those courses in my fourth year in B.Tech, and some of the courses I also carry forward into the M.Tech. So you can check the latest guidelines also, but I think that's the rule when I was doing my dual degree.
So obviously you do not need to repeat a course. Okay.
Right, right.
You do not need to repeat a course, but uh, I would personally, okay, if you are an EVE student, then in the B.Tech years already you have a lot of opportunity to pursue courses that we are offering at IIIT. If you want to pursue a master's, I would then strongly recommend you to build your profile in such a way that you pursue masters from an international location, if that fits your budget. If not, then yes, why not IIIT? Then IIIT is the best place because you're not repeating anything and you can utilize that time to do better research, better projects. But आई वुड सजेस्ट दैट अगर आप यहाँ से बीटेक कर रहे हो और आप ईवी में ही कर रहे हो, सी ईसीई का बीटेक स्टूडेंट अगर यहीं पे एमटेक करता है, they still have more options and they will do more coursework. But I would not hesitate to recommend you to explore Ivy League colleges or best universities in the world to pursue your masters also. And Aamir did his converted his BTech to MTech, so I'm very happy he did, and he did great work. Uh, but you can explore outside too, if you're willing. If you're not, then yes, absolutely, best option. M.Tech at IIIT Delhi is amongst the best that you find in the country. So why not?
And what if, sir, I take the VLSI courses in my B.Tech only that are M.Tech level courses?
वो
So then I
opportunity तो
don't,
आपके पास है ही. Then when you pursue masters, you're doing that for more of research and project work.
okay, like M.Tech thesis kind of.
Yeah, Amir, am I right? Then you can do other courses, like you can do courses on creativity and entrepreneurship and business and all those things to add more breadth to your profile. Or you can do courses like machine learning and others because core courses तो आपने करे ही हुए हैं. Amir, you want to add something?
Yeah, right. So for the 1 year, you get an just 1 year extension for your masters, and in that you have a mandatory thesis. So
Hmm.
the 1 year is more focused on your thesis, and you still get some time for your projects. Sorry, for courses.
Coursework.
Yeah.
So coursework तो आप
Okay.
पूरा कर ही लोगे अभिनव. Coursework की
Yes,
टेंशन नहीं
sir.
है. That one extra year is more for research and project work,
Okay, sir. And
and which is
if I
good.
do a B.Tech project, I can extend it to my M.Tech thesis as
Yes,
well.
yes, yes. So it could be very, very good. We could come up with some really great results when you work for 2 years on something.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, all the best. Anything else? No more questions? या आप सब थक गए हैं?
So, if there can be any roadmap or a area which seniors could make for the juniors, it will be very beneficial.
Yeah, work with them. We encourage them, and I think there must be something just that might not have been passed on to you. So Viyaash, Pritha, you guys, is there something that exists? If not, then why don't we create something?
Sure, sir, we can. Sir, they can always contact us. Most people contact on LinkedIn or other networking sites. So,
Yeah. So, see, if you're a hostler, then just catch hold of any one of your seniors there and they will help you. Otherwise, as Vyash is saying, LinkedIn pay, otherwise mail pay, just write to them and ask them for their guidance. And if they are not willing to make a roadmap, you create one based on the guidance that you get and start to pass it, add your guidance to it and pass it on to your juniors. That's how we do something big. You know? We can't wait for others to do something that we want them to do. If something is really important, we just pick up the shovel and start doing the work.
Oh, sir, I think
Yes.
there is a roadmap like that. I think if Yatin is trying to ask, what about courses? If you have to do a specialization in X branch, what are the
Oh,
courses you have to do? If that kind of roadmap you're asking, I think some of our seniors have created that.
oh, that is also available
Yeah,
on our
yeah.
website, ECE website.
Yeah, right, there too.
That's also an ECE website.
And one more point I would like to add is why don't like I've seen very few people connecting with seniors on LinkedIn. Like recently, few weeks back, I had a connection request from somebody, some master student from Purdue, and he had some doubts in memory. So we had a discussion on call and we solved his doubt. Why not these kind of things happen with student in our college? Like I'll be very happy if more of you like send me requests and I can accept, then we can have discussion in any topic you want or not. So I think we should first of all create a LinkedIn ID and send request to your seniors first of all. So that's a really good thing. And it's very beneficial if in case you want to check out for internship opportunities. So it happens like seniors who are working in industry, they post whatever the options are vacant in
Yes.
their companies also on the LinkedIn. So I would say first just connect with your seniors. That's a very good step.
Thank you, Amir, for that, because LinkedIn was not there when we did our B.Tech, but I see that LinkedIn is a very useful resource for people to know about opportunities. And abhi to we are mature enough to have a lot of alumni from ECE department, and just connect with them. Stay connected, and that will bring to you a lot of opportunities, anyways. Hmm? So, if there are no further questions, I would like to close the session by first thanking all my special invitee colleagues, and then to all the students who sent in their questions, and then to all of you who also did not only send in your questions but also are here in this meeting today, and you clarified your doubts. You were candid enough to ask questions and add your inputs. So thank you to all of you, and I hope that this session was useful for you. We've recorded this session. We will also put it online, and you can come back to it anytime later also. But a big thanks for taking out time and uh, taking ownership of your career. I would put it like that. I'm thanking you because I believe that this is one thing that we want each one of you to do, to take ownership of your career, and I'm glad that you have taken that step. Thank you for coming. We will close now. Thanks a lot and see you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.